If action doesn't create reality, what does? Today on Awakening with Amy. Hi, welcome. I'm Amy Valentine, certified life coach, hoping to awaken within you a mindset that you can be, do, and have any desire. We're talking today about action and how that does not create or manifest anything, but what does? This is the question we're going to answer, because this is so powerful. This idea is so powerful because all of us are taught to take action to make things happen. That shows that you are, worthy, or that you have to earn your way, right? We're taught this. And we're gonna break that down today, how that belief is just bogus. It's bogus because it's based in fear, and lack. And we're gonna break down and get into the nitty-gritty of what is really creating our reality today. So, like I said, action doesn't create, meaning it doesn't matter what you do or don't do, but focused thought does. As within, so without. We are all under this grand illusion that action is the creative act. But like Abraham Hicks says, action is the way you enjoy what you've already created in your mind. Neville says creation is finished. Course in Miracles says the script is written. Scripture says, before you call, I will answer. This is so mind-bending today. When I was prepping for this video, even my mind was blown. So let me break this down into simple components so we all can have a better understanding of what everybody's been trying to tell us. It's like the hidden secret behind all the spiritual teachings and every quote I just said, and there's a ton more. I have a bunch written down today. So creation is finished. The script is written. Before you call, I will answer. It's telling us when you ask, it's already given, because all potentials exist right now. Think about that. The infinite universe, infinite, it's never ending, but expanding at the same time, right? It's wild to think about that we are all potentials, because we exist in all of it, right? Because we exist in a physical body, we could not exist without that unseen reality, meaning that who we really are is a soul in a physical body, an unseen energy that comes into physical form to create, to be a creator, to express ourselves. Otherwise, what other reason will we have this physicality, right? To know ourselves as source energy, so source energy knows itself through us. So, like I said, the premise here is all potentials exist when, right now, and the one that you're living, that you're seeing, that you're tasting, touching, is only one potential in infinity. And you can't even count to infinity. It's so really, really, this is the premise of all transformation, of all change. Action doesn't create, like I said, focused thought does. Here's a quote from Neville. If you know that all things exist, though unseen at the moment, and you have access to them through your imagination, you can rearrange the pattern of your thinking and change your world by remaining loyal to your unseen construction. Neville Goddard, the beautiful Neville. if you know, that heart knowing, you just know, we all know this, we just have to be reminded of it. When you know that everything that is unseen is just potential and it's all within you, in your imagination, how you arrange your thinking, and you stay loyal to that new thought, that new assumption, the 3D has to yield, that physical reality, your life experience has to yield to what you're doing within your consciousness. That's the only manifesting technique you need, is to understand that everything is between you and you, right? And really think about it. If you take a day or two and notice, every time you're doing something, from getting out of bed to brushing your teeth to maybe making breakfast, getting ready for work, whether you work at home, it doesn't matter. If you just become the awareness of why am I taking action, and you're honest with yourself, like Neville says, be the uncritical observer. That's the only way to know what you're assuming, right? Why you're taking action. You're going to realize that there's only 2 reasons why we really ever take any action. Number 1, it's inspired action from love, or you're taking inspired action from fear. You're inspired by love, or you're inspired by fear. And what are all of us taught when we're growing up mostly? If you don't do X, Y, and Z, if you don't clean your room, you're not going to get that cookie. If you don't go to school and get good grades, you're not going to go to college and get a good job. If you don't do this, then, right? I mean, think about it. It's endless. We've all, and it's nobody's fault, because it's like ingrained in our consciousness, meaning the greater consciousness, our society, right? So when we're taking action from love, from who we really are being led by our higher self, that's what Abraham Hicks calls alignment with your vortex. The vortex they call is that unseen potential. Like Neville talks about, that infinite potential that we can't see yet. But how does it become seen? Through focused thought, through our assumptions, what we believe to be true about ourselves in relationship to everything else. This is mind-boggling, I know, but really let this sink in, because you already know this truth. It's just we're awakening to it. We're shining a light on it, right? And that when we take action from a state of fear, we're saying, I am not. So I better do something to feel that worthiness. And when we take action from fear to make something happen, it feels like effort. It doesn't feel good. And that is your clue, that is your sign that you're out of alignment with who you really are, which is just pure positive energy, pure love, which is I am. I am that I am, the name of God. I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I. Why is the Father greater? Because he doesn't see separation. There is no separation, but really, technically, what's the first separation from our source is that soul, the spirit, right? The non-physical you. And then that breaks off into that physical you, into a body. And so that first thought of separation that we learn in this physical world, thinking it's coming from the world, but no, it's coming from within us. So somebody asked me this question recently, where does that sense, that feeling of unworthiness come from? In coaching, we call it the gremlin, the negative mind chatter. Well, we think it comes from our upbringing, our childhood, our parents, they didn't give me this or they didn't give me that. No. It actually comes from that separation from God, from source energy, that first thought of separation. And then we believe that to be true. And somehow, unknowingly, unconsciously, we project that feeling, that thought, right? We have a thought, then a feeling. We never are feeling anything without a thought. And we project that out into the world, and it is revealed in the way we are treated, and what is happening in our reality. And I know that's not always easy to admit, especially if it's unwanted, but really, really think about all the teachings in scripture and all the spiritual teachers. That's what they all say in a different package, that it's all within us. And that we don't have to judge anything by the appearances of things. We judge righteously, meaning with our higher mind. It is not the job, like Bashar says, the job of the physical mind is just to enjoy creation. It's not the job of the physical mind to figure anything out. Every time we ask, how can this happen? Or why did this happen to me? Or what more can I do to make this happen? We are separating ourselves from our source. And now we're connecting with fear instead of love. And that's why we get what we don't want. You know, when we're aligning to fear, we're being something we're not. When we're aligning with love, with really the pure love of life, the love of the desire, now we're aligning with that higher mind, the divine part, and we're connecting with the love within us, that unconditional love that we're never really separated from. We just think we are. It's the ego, the illusion of the ego, meaning the ego can't see the whole picture because it doesn't understand love. Just like God or source energy doesn't understand the ego because it can't see it. That's why it's greater. It can only see unity and oneness. So, another word for desire is love. When you take action from that place of love, you know that desire is already yours. Before they call, I will answer. Ask and it is given. Now you're aligning to who you really are, and that the physical world, the universe, must yield to who you're being within. Another word for desiring is fear. You have a desire, you block it with a negative thought, right? Meaning a fearful thought, a thought of, I am not it, I am not enough, so I got to make it happen, I got to take all this action. It never works. We stay on that hamster wheel. We stay in that pattern of constantly thinking we have to fix either ourselves within or fix the outside world. And now we're just taking action based in fear, and we're literally creating more of a mess. And the good news is there's only right now in creation. The universe only knows now. God only knows now. Source energy only knows now. And your inner being is always right now with you, taking you over and under all the resistance that you put on your path, that we put on our path when we believe in the egoic voice instead of the higher voice of love, right? So you are the answer. Remember, we don't see the world as it is. We see the world as we are within. And that's how we project that thought, that focused thought. And like Neville says, when we do it deliberately, when we rearrange our mind, right, we practice it, we do it for the love of it, everything in the outside world must yield to that. It's wild. And it happens because the first indication is you just feel different. Maybe nothing really changes physically yet, but remember what we started with. Everything is potential. And the only thing, what you're living right now, what you're seeing right now is one potential in infinity. That's why all things are possible with God, with the unseen energy, with the unseen you. You are the answer. And what is the answer? It's always love. I am. Go to your I am. Practice it until you feel that inner movement like Neville talks about. That's that inner conviction of wish fulfilled, that I'm already fulfilled. I can't do enough in this physical reality to be worthy to be more, because you're already that. It's just covered up by the illusion, the fog of 3D life, of physical life. right? Remember, it's only right now. So go to that I am. Byron Katie said it best, and I'm going to sum it up with a quote from Byron Katie, who's a wonderful spiritual teacher. This is it, right now. It's that simple. Only this exists, Byron Katie. What is this? Now. So instead of taking action from that place, I have to make something do this action to make something happen. Leave that alone. Let go of that belief that's just resistance to who you really are, which is I am whole and complete. I am perfect the way I am. I am here in a physical body to experience life. And I get to choose to whom I will serve, love or fear. And that is the thing that creates reality, your focus and attention, your focused thought. So focus on the thoughts that feel good to you and leave the rest. Like A Course in Miracles says, hang on to nothing, right? Drop it. When you just make that agreement with yourself, I'm going to drop the resistance because I know my inner being has my back and is taking me around all the resistance that I've created unknowingly. When you let go of the story of lack and fear, what is left over? Who you really are. Pure love, pure potential. And anything is possible. Remember that. So test it out for yourself. Try it for just like a couple days. Test this out. Judge with that righteous judgment with your higher self. Go to your I am. Consult that higher you before you do anything. And have fun with it. Play with it. And even when you take action from fear, well, I better go to work because if I don't, I'll be fired. Just observe it. Show yourself the difference. Show yourself you are the operant power. Like Neville says, you and only you get to choose what you focus on. And you get to do, when you do what you want in your imagination, you're aligning with love to your I am. And everything else in the physical world must yield to that. It cannot resist you being who you really are, which is love. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking and sharing the video. That's what gets the algorithm going on YouTube and shares it with more people. Thank you for subscribing. And see you soon.